Hello everyone and welcome back. Today we are going to be playing something spicy. The green-black shell has been everywhere and it's proven to be a really dominant force, especially in the best of one territory. But we are playing Thalia in the Gitrog monster into this build. We finally maybe found it a home. It's a really cool card if you haven't read it before. It's First Strike, Death Touch. You may play additional lands on each of your turn. We are playing 26 lands. Creatures and non-basic lands opponent control enter the battlefield tap, making things like Sunfall and board wipes harder to cast against us, or having extra counter spells up against us, especially if we're on the play. It enters tap whenever Thalia and Gitrog attack, sacrifice a land, a creature or land, and then draw a card. The creature we can sack is plenty sources in the deck, especially the value with the Mosswood Dread Knight. We can sack this and then cycle it to draw cards. It's a really good little like a 1-2 punch with the Thalia and the Mosswood Dread Knight, that these two can generate very good value on their own. But the other thing that we get mainly in the deck that I want to talk about before we get started is the Blossoming Tortoise. When you sack a land with Thalia and Gitrog and you get through that combat phase, you can then play a Tortoise after if you have the mana to do so, and pick that land back up and put it back into play. Other than that, we're going to hop into the matches and see how they go. I hope you all enjoy, and if you do, please be sure to subscribe. Other than that, let's just get into it. Draw some removal. Let's set our Graveyard Trespasser to play on 3. We get there, so it seems pretty fine. Have to get there, of course. Find a Foundry. Maybe not the future matchup we want to see, but good old Esper control, everybody's favorite. Quick list on the stack. I assume it has to be Esper control. No counterspell there. You see a Wandering Emperor come down here. Let's attack first. Where that gets us. Yep. Kind of assumed so. No Gitrog. They have Foundry down. Lands will now enter tapped. Don't know what this does. Been first time in a while. We got First Strike. We got Death Touch. Additional land each turn. Creatures and non-basic lands your opponent control enter the battlefield tapped. Whenever it attacks, sacrifice the creature land and draw a card. Memory Deluge on the stack. No real true way to get rid of Thalia in the Gitrog monster, I would assume. We find value here. A plus, giving us a reason to attack it. So here we get to see something really, really cool. In go in, we can play Bestage You. So I wanted to do it before, but this is going to allow us to activate our Foundry for 1. We can put in this forest or whatever. Turtle reduces the activation by 1. But now we can actually get like a decently good attack in here. We'll let this basic forest go. Walking into a Sunfall, I'm sure, but not to progress. We have quite the board state. A second Memory Deluge, so we have a free 7, 8, 9, 10, I think. Yeah, so let's do this up. There. One black, what would they have? They have Fading Hope? I guess. Still attack here. This will mill. We can get a cave back. We'll just play Gitrog back down. these two work pretty well in tandem as well, because this will make you sack a land. So even if turtle doesn't hit one on your mill, you can, to bring one back, the Thalia will sack a land so you can bring that land back. So there that goes. We get board wiped. We play a Trespasser and then a Shieldred? Or do we just... Could do damage, but we're gonna eat these memory delusions, I think. I think just eating those in general is probably fine. Force them to have another board wipe, and I feel like that was a draw. Or maybe they found it off their memory delusions. They're really hard to remove in their case if it's just like single spot removal. They have another board wipe, of course that feels bad. Then we start activating the Foundry and we play a Shieldred. We should be fine. Activate the Foundry like we said before. Attack. We could there make disappear value though. Try it. Maybe should have played this in reverse, see if Shieldred resolved and then did Foundry. Shenanigans. Upkeep. The plan. Alright. There. Well. Resolves, right, team? Indeed. Activate. Get rid of our cut down. Here's a Kaito. Thank goodness we got past that. And land up. Attack. We have 2 more man lands in our deck. You get to see that. Eventually, we get thinned out here. We get a forest. It's still turned off. We need 1 more mana, but in turn. Yeah, farewell. I don't think any of our man lands were milled, or we would have brought them back with the turtle. They play that. I assume you should probably hold that to cycle, but that's just me. Plus here, we'll get rid of our Go for the Throat. Terra Thunder going to be a better option. Sure. Speaking of the better option, each player discards a card. Yeah. Ah, so close. We'll let the Terra Thunder go. Fading Hope's gone. We'll remove this. Now they have a draw. And we get to actually play this down for its reanimate side. Hopefully. Well, we can because we'll draw a card here. We'll plus Lily. Spend this. Get rid of Sunfall. We'll hard cast this. So now we can bring back all the creatures that we want, and Lily gets to ult next turn if we choose so, which we might. We can bring back Shieldred, but I think we bring back the Hullbreaker Horror, and they've seen enough. They don't want to deal with anything anymore. So very nice. We take down one of the stronger decks in the format in Esper Control. Go first. Nice. And it's fun. I'll pass. Then we'll probably have to play Takenuma, cycle this. And like we have nothing. Well, realistically, we're probably going to have to hold up Go for the Throat here. I would love this cycle to try to hit a land, but with Glissa as the draw, Go for the Throat having to remove a creature here. Probably going to be so important. Fine land anyway. Let's just play our first striker down. So play with fire is not relevant on Glissa. The reason play with fire wouldn't be relevant is because it has first strike. Therefore, what? Oh, Kamano flipping counts towards that? Hey, the more you know. Attack here. I don't think they knew that one, so we'll take it. So, Glissa has a destroy target enchantment on it. They could have not blocked, or they could have just blocked to protect us anyway, but they didn't, so we blew up their enchantment. Because even on the front side, it's just enchantment. Blessing Druid can come in. It's just their play for turn. Or an Audacity there with Trample. I'm fine with trading this Shieldred off to not have to worry about this anymore, and I think the answer is yes. Just let my Glissa take the game over, along with like the value I have in my current hand. Play all this. Attack. And draw. You want to keep drawing to find actual cards. We keep finding lands, but they end up giving up anyway. I think this is keepable off of this alone. Pretty land heavy. And we have this as our only removal, but they did maul, so I'm going to keep. If no maul from them, then maybe we have to throw it back to keep it a little bit more of a competitive hand. Looks like ramp so far. I can't imagine it's Jund. Could be Jund. Be kind of cool if it was Jund. We have no turn 3 play, so I'm just going to play this out actually. Just in case they remove this, we'll actually cycle it then. Because normally you want to cycle it first so you have the mana to cycle it later and then play it later, but we don't have a turn 3 play, so I'm perfectly fine. Like here, just popping it to keep it around, get this tomb in. We have a handful of 7, they're down to 5. They did maul, they do have that. Very Stomper. It's been Jund so far. Is this going to be the information we need? So it is more than Jund. Play Land War Waste, and we play Thalia and Gitrog. We play it because we'll get the fortress down anyway. Now their lands will enter tap no matter what they do. Unless, of course, they have a Leyline Binding or something here. That enters tapped anyway, so what's there to be worried about? A way to do this. This would be 6. Yeah. I can do this. I can do this because we have Terra Thunder to exile a Leyline Binding. So let's get our Tortoise down. Although we might want to use it to exile this. Move to combat with Thalia. We'll go ahead and pop in the Seiju. Draw another land. Perfectly fine with us. They have no blocks, so they'll take 4. And we get to play an additional land off of the Thalia, so we will. Akanuma Cycle. Okay. Oh, is this Shards of Alara combo? Sunfall. Yeah, sure. Overgrown Tomb. Ritual Presence. I wish we had 1 green mana to have Terra Thunder available. But they have blue, red, green, black, and white. So they have the mana for Alara. If you don't know how that works, they might just be generically playing this, but Shards of Alara would allow you to play this side and do all those fun shenanigans, of course. Thalia or Traxa for us? I think we just play a Thalia and just value the game out. They have big hits in their deck. which we kind of don't hit them. I was hoping to maybe hit like the virtual presence or something from their deck. We can always hit an Atraxa later. Put a 1/1 counter on a crease here. Why not this one? Let's hold off on flipping the Atali here. We have all the removal in the world, so we can spot up, remove everything if we want. So they mill 7 here. We can't counter, so sure. You get a Leyline Binding and an Atraxa, which Atraxa is, of course, going to be the inner. You might get a... Ooh, Leyline Binding's the inner. Oh, opponent. Opponent. No. All right. This can't hit this, but that's what we have Terra Sunder for. Our turn. Still flip. Still activate. I don't know if I need to do that. I felt like I did. We'll kill them with their own Atali. So I was, in my opinion, I think they could have just played a land. I'm not sure. I don't feel like they did, but I think they're supposed to play a Atraxa. Although playing around me having perfect removal is also kind of tough. But I think they're supposed to play a Atraxa and try to find like a Leyline Binding naturally that way. I mean, I guess, what was their graveyard looking like? Did they hit them all? There's 2 in there. There's 33 cards. Like 1 in 15 odd chance. I don't know. It's kind of tough. It's a tough call. Go first. No green mana in this hand. Mainly green black deck. We think we'll get it. Play 26 lands. Hand has such upside. I think we keep. It's not like we're dead in the water. We do have a card, and if we're not drawing that land, we will be drawing lands. Hello typically means mono blue nowadays, so I am scared for my life. Plains, Island, Swamp, Ant. I mean, Liliana is also like good, I guess. Play other Swamp. Liliana can make these cards at least valuable, I guess. Words off so far. Do you find a green source? I guess. I think I want to play Glissa. And I'd rather have Glissa start up my card value engine here with the Liliana in play. Sure. Star Commando. Kind of good I didn't play the Kieran, because that would have been a tough sell. Tenacious Underdog for 2. Should be no attack here. If they attack as a mistake by accident, I would imagine. Don't think they would do that one on purpose. All right, opponent. I would like to attack you with Glissa. Neither of these are enchantments, so they can block if they want to prevent me from drawing cards. Also, they can bring Underdog back in theory next turn, but I'm going to play the Stallion Gitrog, which makes their land inner tapped. Will they pay attention? Wedding announcement, that's fine. Even this token enters tap, they miss a land. That is not good. So we will go ahead and get this out of play. Get a big attack going here. Fine, what we draw first. We'll sacrifice this Swamp. Get a go for the throat. This hits. We blow up enchantment. We take out the wedding announcement. We limit their plays as much as physically possible. Then we play a Kieran, and we hold up a go for the throat. And enters tapped, so no dashing the Underdog here. They play an Underdog. I have enough to almost be lethal. It's starting to actually. It's close, right? Because of this. Put 1/1 counter on something. We'll put it on here, I guess. We'll play land. We'll bring up this. And we will attack out. Attack the Ganjo. No enchantment, anything like that. So we'll draw a card, lose a life. Play Swamp. And I guess pass. So we have lethal with just screwing this up and attacking. No blocks will get it done here. Wow. We took that hand with upside and it paid off so well. We keep this or do we mold this? I'm gonna keep this. This is a little sketch for sure. Looks of it, we won't be here for very long. Never mind, we're cracked. Sure. Huh? I will make your card draw awkward. What is the solution now? I trespass or I just cut down this? I think I just cut this down. We have Terra Sunder for an enchantment, but that's not probably going to be relevant. I will say, Trespasser plus Liliana is a hot duo. This battlefield, each opponent discards a card. Hey. We let Terra Sunder go. Worst card in hand by far. My opinion. Could minus here and get rid of this. Or we can plus and take their last card and then play a Trespasser. Just start eating up their stuff. I think that's actually better. Take a counter spell. Could play Tortoise and start bringing back lands, but I'm going to stick with the Trespasser route. So if they don't cast anything, it's going to flip to Knight, and I'm going to start attacking pretty aggressively. Plus Liliana lives here. Yep, that's all it took. Alright, team, we're going to talk about the deck a little bit and what we liked, what we didn't like, how we're feeling, how good or bad we're feeling. One, I think, considering I didn't play this card in an entire hour or see the card, that it's good or bad. But that's joke aside. This card's like fine. We might want to end up cutting it for another Lily. I'm not really sure on that decision right now because I never got to play with this card. So this card in the deck, I am unsure if it is good or bad because I did not get to play it. So we're going to move it over there. We're going to see from there. To go for the throw and cut down effects, I think the initial list I've seen, like in terms of just green-black control, have been a lot of 4 on go for the throw, and I think that might actually be correct because if we're in like this mid-range game, and we definitely want to get to the later game with it, or maybe not even necessarily later game, but that mid-range area where Lily's put in work, Graveyard Trespassers kind of like thickened down the graveyard or taken down the graveyards and then loosened up their hands where they have to remove it and get rid of a card. Then you got that Lily coming in and putting in work along with Glissa being a tough sell in terms of like our creatures aren't very cut downable, so a cut down is pretty dead against us besides for this creature, but this creature generates so much value on its own even if it does get cut down because you can draw another card with it and then replay it and keep being a 2-for-1 card in of itself and an absolute monster. The Thalias. This card actually felt good. I don't know what other white cards we could be playing. You could argue maybe like instead of cut down at all, maybe we start playing something like March or like a white just spot up removal spell instead of this. Maybe at some point if we definitely curve into the later game more, maybe we're looking at Wandering Emperor playing a little bit white heavier. But I do think that Thalian Gitrog works really well with the Blossoming Tortoise. Because we can attack with this, and even if we lose a mana, sometimes you want to do it the opposite way, where you kind of play this first and then hope you hit a land. But you can attack with Thalian Gitrog, sacrifice a land, hit them, kind of do whatever you want, and then play the Tortoise after and pick that land back up and put it into play, because that's what this is really good at doing. And we get the added benefit of its activated ability of lands we control cost 1 less. It allows us to get a lot more aggressive with things like Mishra's Foundry. Nganjo is cheaper, even though this isn't legendary. It still makes Nganjo cheaper. Osaju's cheaper. Takanuma is cheaper. And then also the Restless Cottages are cheaper. And then Relentless Fortress. I put in 2 cottages. I'm honestly almost more sold on playing the Fortress as a 2 of over the cottage, because some of the times with green black, and especially in the mirror, you get kind of like a muddy board and you just need to attack and just get a amount of damage in, kind of like a burn damage. And this still has to hit our opponent. It can't give us foods, it can give us life and stuff like that, but Restless Fortress can just give us the life immediately, but also take them down by 2. Outside of that, the deck's just good value. It's surprisingly good with this. I didn't know how it was going to be. I really just wanted to play Thalia and Gitrog in this kind of shell. This shell's proven to be one of the best decks in the format, so if anything can make this card good, it would be the shell. So we're on 26 lands. We have the spot up removal. Using this Kieran could probably be a 2 of. I just don't have one, nor do I want to craft one if I didn't know how well it was going to be playing. Some lists play 4 of this, some play 2, some play 3, none, 1. Make up your mind, you know, just roll a d6 and decide what you want to play that day. Outside of that, Liliana's been great. We did get outvalued in the Simic match, which I probably won't end up showing. I lost the match, I will be honest, but I ended up mauling like twice. They bounced my Glissa twice, and it just wasn't very like close. I just got blown out. And then I ended up losing a grindy matchup somewhere along the road, but that should definitely be in. Outside of that, I'm going to call it. I hope you all enjoyed. If you have any suggestions for the decks or things you like in white that can go in to make us a little bit more dedicated to playing that kind of color in this style of deck and give Abzan the shine that it might deserve for not finally. It never gets there. It's always Jund or something like that as of late. But I hope you all enjoyed, and if you did, come back. I don't know what to tell you. See ya. Peace. Bye.